Hello and welcome to the kickoff event of the AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge. Be part of AgriTech today. My name is Claudia Zachary and I work as partnership support of the Accelerate for Impact team, and I will be your moderator for today's kickoff event. We are excited to have you here today to witness and take part in the launch of the AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge. This is a convening of public sector players, scientists, practitioners, and agri-tech experts from across the globe who have come together to showcase the importance of creating linkages between pioneering research, technological ingenuity, and entrepreneurship to bring transformative agri-tech solutions to market in Morocco and beyond. The AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge is made possible thanks to the generous support of the World Bank and its trust fund, the Digital Development Partnership, that is administered by the World Bank Group. Also in partnership with Impact Lab and the Moroccan Ministry of Agriculture, Maritime, Fisheries, Rural Development and Water and Forests, Pôle Digitale, and brought to you today by CGIAR Accelerate for Impact platform, also A4IP. A4IP is a venture space that builds on CGIAR's legacy of research and innovation to support both incremental and transformative innovation by bridging science and entrepreneurship to address some of the world's most pressing challenges at the nexus of agriculture, environment, and health. The initiative is grounded on three pillars that are to incubate and accelerate science-based innovations by valorizing existing or dormant research products in the pre-commercial stage, connect CGIAR scientists with the innovation ecosystem and fund the most visionary teams, as well as co-designing novel breakthrough solutions for sustainable agriculture and climate action. During today's event, we bring to you the welcoming remarks from representatives of CGIAR and the World Bank. We will move on to a presentation of the AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge, where you will learn more about the objective and goals, structure, awards, and benefits of this initiative. Following the presentation, we will open a discussion where panelists across public sector, research, venture, and corporate backgrounds will deep dive into how to stimulate a collaborative innovation dynamic in order to create value for Morocco's agri-food sector and for the different stakeholders along the value chains. We will announce the official launch of the initiative and hear closing remarks. Today, we hope to contribute towards creating an enabling environment for groundbreaking innovative solutions for Morocco's agri-food sector. We also hope to offer the opportunity for you to learn more about the challenge and encourage you to apply, spread the word, and share amongst your networks about the initiative. I thank all the attendees here today, as well as journalists and the speakers for today. Please allow me to introduce our first esteemed guest speaker for the welcoming remarks. We have Rémi Terrier, who is Agriculture and Food Global Practice at the World Bank in the MNA region based in Rabat, Morocco. He is managing the agriculture and irrigation portfolio made of 2 programs for results, supporting the implementation of the Green Generation Strategy, and 2 investment projects financing the promotion of modernization of irrigation subsectors. Rémi was working in the Latin American and Caribbean region for the World Bank between 2012 and 2020, and previously in an engineering and consulting company on agricultural development, water resource management, and irrigation, carrying out studies and technical assistance worldwide. Thank you to Rémi, and over to you.
Merci Claudia. Je vais parler en français, donc si ça ne vous dérange pas. Donc bonjour à toutes et bonjour à tous. Donc je suis Rémi Terrier de la Banque mondiale, résident à Rabat, comme Claudia m'a présenté. Au nom de la Banque mondiale, je suis particulièrement heureux de lancer cette initiative qui est donc financée par un don d'un fonds fiduciaire qui s'appelle DDP, pour Digitale Development Partnership. Et je suis très heureux de lancer cette initiative avec nos partenaires, le ministère de l'Agriculture, le PAD, le Pôle de l'Agriculture Digitale, et avec la participation pour la mise en œuvre donc, du CGIAR et d'Impact Lab. Donc pour la Banque mondiale, ce challenge complète formidablement le travail que nous faisons en appui à la stratégie Génération Green, hein, à travers nos différents programmes et projets de financement. Mais cette activité particulière appuie sur les aspects innovation et notamment innovation numérique qui complètent formidablement tous les investissements qu'on fait dans le secteur agricole, aussi bien l'agriculture pluviale, l'agriculture irriguée que toute la partie mise en marché, comme l'a expliqué Claudia. Donc pour la Banque mondiale, l'innovation en général et l'innovation numérique en particulier est un élément clé pour la modernisation des systèmes agroalimentaires, hein, agri-food system en anglais, hein, avec la vision complète de l'amont, de la production primaire agricole elle-même, et puis de l'aval, de la mise en marché, de la transformation. Donc l'innovation peut apporter des nouveaux emplois, des gains de productivité sur toute cette chaîne de valeur. Alors évidemment, dans le contexte actuel où certains facteurs de production de l'agriculture comme l'eau deviennent de plus en plus rares, on est dans une période de sécheresse, d'autres intrants comme les engrais ou les produits phytosanitaires voient des prix internationaux augmenter très fortement. Tout porte à essayer d'améliorer la productivité de l'agriculture. Donc toute l'innovation et en général l'innovation numérique aide à toutes ces améliorations de productivité agricole pour tendre vers ce qu'on appelle l'agriculture de précision. En plus de tous ces aspects de productivité, il y a l'aspect création d'emplois, de nouveaux emplois et des emplois de qualité dans le secteur agricole. Ça, c'est un élément fondamental pour la banque et pour le ministère dans le cadre de la génération green. Et il y a aussi, c'est aussi un moyen de saisir des opportunités de marché actuelles et futures. Notamment, on pense beaucoup au pacte vert de l'Union européenne, le Green Deal, qui va aussi créer de nouvelles opportunités. Et le numérique, par exemple, à travers toute la traçabilité, apporte des solutions cruciales pour tous ces mises en marché avec ces nouveaux critères de qualité demandés par les clients. Donc, dans le cadre de cette challenge, nous espérons recevoir des candidatures de toutes les régions du Maroc. Hein. Personnellement, j'étais la semaine dernière à Berkane où j'ai pu assister à un hackathon qui était organisé par la Direction régionale de l'agriculture. Donc, on voit que dans beaucoup de régions, les innovations et les innovations numériques génèrent beaucoup d'intérêt et on espère qu'on aura donc des candidatures de toutes les régions et de toutes les thématiques pour cette candidature et aussi des candidatures étrangères qui peuvent bénéficier au Maroc. Et dans le cadre de la mise en œuvre de ces initiatives, on souhaite aussi décentraliser un peu les activités. Probablement le bootcamp qu'on va organiser un peu plus en aval dans l'initiative aura lieu à Meknès, dans un centre d'innovation agroalimentaire qu'on aide à financer à travers un de nos programmes au niveau du Calipol de Meknès. Donc voilà, on est vraiment très enthousiaste. On vous souhaite une très bonne réunion de lancement et bonne chance à tous les candidats pour le challenge. Donc voilà, je m'arrête là et je passe la parole à Giampiero ou Claudia. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Remy, for your remarks. Now on to Giampiero Mensa as representative of CGIAR. So Giampiero Mensa is the Senior Partnership and Innovations Finance Officer at the Alliance of Biodiversity International and SIAT of CGIAR. Giampiero has expertise in scoping and building science-based innovations and strategic partnerships with both private and public sector to support the transition to sustainable development. He also leads the Accelerate for Impact platform team. On to you, Giampiero. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia, for the presentation. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. I'm grateful for the support of the World Bank and Trust Fund Digital Development Partnership and for the commitment showed by partners such as Impact Lab, the Moroccan Ministry of Agriculture, and the Pôle d'Agriculture Digitale. I'm very pleased to be here today presenting this important project that we've been developing in the last couple of months. The Agriculture Innovation Challenge comes at a time when scientific innovation and entrepreneurship are being recognized as drivers to contribute towards solving complex global challenges affecting agriculture and food systems. Innovation is at the core of the work of all stakeholders gathered here today, public sector, researchers, investors, corporates, and startups. The term innovation implies the process of adopting an inquisitive and questioning approach to a given context or a case to brainstorm creative ideas and exploit the benefits to generate meaningful impact. At CGIAR, our mission is to deliver science and innovation that advance the transformation of food, land, and water systems. Innovation spotlight the power of science. Innovations are the fruit of the integration of capabilities, knowledge, assets, people, and global presence. Innovations are a new or significantly improved research outputs in pursuit of the Sustainable Development Goals. At CGIAR, we are keeping up to speed in a fast-evolving environment through the launch of the Accelerate4Impact platform, the venture space aiming to connect with the innovation ecosystem and scale the most science-based breakthrough solutions. The AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge is an opportunity to scout, connect, and support talented entrepreneurial scientists who are working to enhance efficiency, equity, and environmental sustainability for Morocco to deliver on the Green Generation 2020-2030. Innovators will be granted with free access to a boot camp and structured acceleration program where they will be supported by scientists and business experts. I'm excited to wish the progress of the initiative and see how this project will be able to deliver impact on the ground. So I thank you all the attendees and I invite you to spread the message about the AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge.
Thank you, Giampiero. Now on to the presentation of the highlight of today's event, so the AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge. On you go.
Thanks again for this, Claudia. Yeah. So as we were saying on the introduction to this event, we've been working the last few months to design a program with the objective to scout and select and accelerate disruptive innovations operating in the agri-tech space, aiming at enhancing the efficiency, equity, and environmental sustainability for Morocco, while aligning it with the Generation Green 2020-2030. It has been an important effort. Let me explain you where we're coming from. Indeed, the AgriTech4Morocco Challenge has been designed and planned after a thorough needs assessment activity with local startup ecosystem, large agribusinesses, national and international organizations, and government institutions, with aim to define a context-specific overview of the opportunities and bottlenecks for the agribusiness sector and the role of the youth lead entrepreneurship in Morocco. We adopted the results of the assessment to scope the direction and priority areas of the call for innovations, and we came to the conclusion that we would like to attract and support disruptive innovations as a product and services like either technologies, methodologies, or practices at a proof of concept or a minimum viable stage. This is not limited to as we target also a more mature innovation that address at least one of the priority areas that we have identified through this needs assessment. We're looking to climate risk adaptations, solutions aiming to build resilience through supporting the choices of crops varieties, water and energy use optimization, and irrigated agriculture. Value chain efficiency. We are looking for solutions aimed at accelerating the development of a transformation around key value chains in Morocco, amongst the other dairy, cereal, sugar, vegetables, meat, and oil value chains by informing farmers and facilitating their access to markets. Capacity building, it's another key important area for the call, and we are targeting solutions that aim to improve the availability and quality of human resources through innovation in training and upskilling labor, reducing labor harshness, improving access to equipment and technology, and connecting staff with labor opportunities. The fourth area is on financial services. looking for solutions developed to help farmers to access adequate financial services and climate-linked and crop protection schemes, optimizing the financial performance of farms and enhancing the mentoring and the management of pests and disease. The fifth area is on market traceability and transparencies. We are looking for solutions created to improve market traceability and transparency to strengthen market competitiveness. Innovations improve production quality and traceability, optimize logistics, and introduce product and packaging innovations. I invite you all to visit the webpage www.agritechchallenge.org. You will find a complete list of solutions and key priority areas. We will share more about this later. Maybe we will go to the next slide on the way we have structured the program. It's basically a 6-stage program where we see an open call for innovation. Starting today, submission will be accepted over the next month until May 1st. It is an easy and accessible platform, will allow you to submit your application and remain informed and connect with the other applicants. Stage 2 is the pre-selection of projects, where we will be able to shortlist 20 teams that will be notified via email by Friday, the 6th of May, and will be awarded an invitation to a 3-day intensive boot camp with more details will be shared about this boot camp closer to a date, as the restriction to the pandemic situation will consent. We aim to organize the event in person. This is our ambition. So it will be nice to see the 20 teams working together over the 3 days boot camp. And the boot camp has been designed to provide a shortlisted, teams of innovators with the preliminary building blocks for a successful acceleration process, including an immersion in the Moroccan agri-food sector, support to define the project scope, and help them with shifting towards an user-centric approach and pitch building. On the 20th of May, after a pitch day competition, we will be able to narrow down the teams from the 20 initial pre-selected participants to the 10 finalists, where that will be granted free access to the 10-week acceleration program, which will take place from the 23rd to the 25th of July. The 10 finalists participating in the 10-week acceleration program will dedicate a full-time effort to the program, during which the CGIAR and Impact Lab experts will support them to structure the foundation of the project through expert talks from private and public stakeholders, technical scientific guidance, designing thinking and entrepreneurship training, coaching and expert sessions, startup talks and workshops to apply deliverables and tools to the projects. The 10 weeks program will lead us to the final demo day on the 28th of July as the 6th and final stage. At the demo day, the 10 finalists will be proper competition where they will have the opportunity to pitch their solutions in front of an exclusive audience of AgTech scientists, leading investors and partners, and provide further information about solutions, applications, and business models. Winners will be nominated the same day. So as we move, to the benefit for the applicants to the AgriTech Innovation Challenge, we'll have access to many awards and benefits from the program, starting from the moment they submit the application, as they will have a full access to a platform that will allow them to remain connected with like-minded innovators and get to know more about the other innovations in the space. They will be having an opportunity to be trained through AgriTech business mentors and subject experts. They will be offered the opportunity to connect with the CGIAR scientists and other partners, and we will be able to offer in-kind technical and scientific support to equip innovators with tools, as well as access to a global community of scientists and other like-minded innovators. We are offering visibility on a global scale through the participation in the Innovation Challenge, and applicants will have the opportunity to showcase their solutions to a broad global audience of potential investors, partners, and media through AgriTech4Morocco communication channels. We are aiming to work with the final 10 teams. There will be granted access to the final acceleration program with a post support program where we will help innovations to match with growth funding. So we will support the innovators to identify an additional grant or financial support to continue the scale of the innovations. So as we move to the next stage of the program, the challenge is open to candidates that are based in Morocco or outside, who have developed innovations that can be applicable to the Moroccan agri-food tech context. The application for outlines set as questions to learn about the solutions, the maturity stage, target users, and will really allow us to better profile the innovations, and will allow us to better assess and provide a jury panel a number of information that can be helpful during the designing, the assessment stage. The AgriTech4Morocco Challenge is now open, and we invite to submit your application by Sunday 1st of May through the dedicated portal, and further the information and more specific on the website www.agritechchallenge.org. We are aiming to organize a Q&A sessions with applicants in the coming days, so please stay tuned and spread the message about the initiative. Thank you all, and over to you, Claudia.
Thank you, Giampiero, for that presentation. So coming up next is a panel discussion moderated by Salma Kabaj. Salma Kabaj is the CEO and co-founder of Impact Lab, that is an innovator accelerator that allows organizations to be more competitive, more sustainable, and more inclusive thanks to the entrepreneurial innovation. It was launched in 2016, and Impact Lab has accelerated 240 startups in 17 African countries. Over to you, Salma.
Thank you, Claudia. We're very happy to be here today and very happy to collaborate on this initiative and lead the operational execution of this program with CGIAR here in Morocco. I will be leading the panel discussion today. We will be talking about how can we stimulate a collaborative innovation dynamic in the agriculture sector in Morocco with value creation for the sector itself, as well as for the different stakeholders along the value chain. And I'm very happy to welcome our 4 panelists today. A very warm welcome to Lubna Mansouri, who's a university professor at the Agronomic and Veterinary Institute Hassan II. Lubna is heading the Digital Agriculture Pôle project, which has recently been launched as part of the Generation Green 2020-2030 strategy. Lubna, welcome. I'm very pleased also to welcome Armin Jürgen Link, and I hope I got that right. Okay. So Armin is here with us. She's an agriculture specialist at the World Bank. She's been focusing mainly on rural development, climate smart, and digital agriculture. And she has a very impressive track record with several international organizations, including the Food and Agriculture Organization, the UNPD, and the GIZ. Armin, you're welcome. We're very happy to have you here with us. In the panel as well, we're very happy to welcome Mr. Majid Lahnou, who is the Central Director of Information Systems at the Department of Agriculture within the Ministry of Agriculture, Maritime, Fisheries, Rural Development, and Water and Forest in Morocco. He's been in that function for a long time, since 2009. He's the initiator of the Agro IT Days event and has been an active contributor to various digitalization and innovation initiatives in the recent years. Is Hamza with us?
Yes.
I think we're missing one panelist. Hamza, you're here. I can't see you. Hi, Hamza. Welcome. So Hamza Kha is the co-founder of Sowit, a Moroccan agri-tech success story that provides technical support to farmers based on data and artificial intelligence. So it allows farmers to deploy precise management of irrigation, phytosanitary products, as well as production estimates. The startup currently has over 80,000 hectares that are covered across 11 different African countries. Hamza, we're very happy to have you here with us today. So let's get started. Mr. Lehlou, we will start with you. So today we have, we see that technology and innovation, entrepreneurship are all very central themes in the Generation Green 2020-2030 strategy. What impact does the ministry hope to achieve on the sector through these axes? Monsieur Lehlou, vous pouvez répondre en français ou si vous voulez, je peux également vous poser la question en français.
It's okay. I already chose my language for this question, but I will let French-speaking people happy by answering in French for the other questions. Thank you, Selma. Hello, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of the AgriTech4Morocco Innovation Challenge. This kickoff demonstrates the engagement of the World Bank to support the implementation of the axes of the new generation, green generation to 2020-2030 strategy. Mainly that this strategy aims at creating a new generation of young entrepreneurs in the rural area and providing e-services for over 2 million connected farmers by 2030. So to answer this question, I would like to say that this strategy counts on digital technology to implement all its axes. Although we are talking about innovation, and innovation is not for sure related to digital technology, but the way the question is put, and since I am the IT CEO in the ministry, I'm trying to bring this question towards a different field where I can have some say or some inputs to share with my colleagues and to share with the eminent experts around this round table. So as an illustration, I will name few impacts and the objectives which digital technology is playing a capital role. So in the first foundation, as a reminder for the priority in the Generation Green or Green Generation strategy, priority to human elements is the first foundation, and the second axe of this priority, namely, is a new generation of young entrepreneur or agricultural entrepreneur. So Green Generation intends to set up innovative transfer mechanism between older farmers wishing to sell or rent their lands and young buyers wishing to develop the land. The development of dedicated offer includes financial support, insurance, social security coverage, and should enable 180,000 young farmers to start their business. At the same time, the establishment of a value offer on 1 million acres of collective lands, generating jobs and activities for young people. Support for entrepreneurial agriculture and para-agriculture services and processing should lead to the creation of 170,000 jobs in the rural area. Added to this, there is an ambition of training about 150,000 graduates, including 10,000 in higher education and 140,000 in technical training and agricultural qualification. While for the fourth axe, new generation of support mechanism, we can also say that digital is not only, or technology is not related to only this axe, but also other axes and other foundation in the strategy. So by this second axe or the fourth axe of a new generation support mechanism, reforming them and modernizing support mechanism for farmers to professionalize agriculture is a major focus of the Green Generation 2020 strategic plan. Digital agriculture services will be strengthened and allow, as said before, 2 million farmers to be connected to e-services. That digital will be used to support and deliver farmers for opportunities to generate activities and incomes, particularly for the benefit of young people. Strong involvement also of 5,000 agricultural advisors to provide extension services. If we have a look also to the second foundation, which is sustainability of agricultural developments, within this, the third axe, which name is quality, innovation, and green tech. Generation Green focus also on improving the quality of production and adapting it to agricultural and technological trends, as well as a new consumption patterns. The development of these axes will allow Morocco to definitely comply with international standards to meet the expectation of Moroccan and foreign consumer, and to make Moroccan origin a guarantee of quality. Investment in research and development will thus be multiplied by 1.5 and or even 2 for better dissemination of agri-tech innovation and percepts. Digital services for agriculture should cover the area of traceability, extension, marketing, mobile payment, and agriculture insurance. Farmers could fully integrate Agri 4.0, which allows for the sustainability and natural resource, as mentioned before by Remy. The third axe of the second foundation is resilient and eco-efficient agriculture. It's about making our agriculture even more resilient and eco-efficient. For this, essential is to improve our resilience, climatic hazards, and ensure the sustainability of agricultural environment, which is the foundation of this new strategy. This is a concrete question. It is a concrete question of investing in water and energy efficiency in order to preserve natural resources while creating new activities that generate incomes and employment. The new strategy aspires to double water efficiency through the implementation of irrigation components of national drinking water supply and irrigation program. the continuation of this irrigation program and development of agriculture space, as well as the mobilization of non-conventional water resource. This optimization of water resource will be accompanied by the promotion of renewable energy in the area, in rural area, by supporting energy transition of farmers to renewable energy. I think this impacts
Mr. Lehlo.
all, but this to let the floor for others to add more details.
Thank you so much. Yes, we can see that this is a very ambitious strategy that touches upon sustainability, market access, transfer across generations, job creation, and skills. So there are a lot of very crucial topics here for the sector. Mrs. Mansouri, I would like to turn to you because you're heading the Digital Agriculture Pôle, which has recently been launched, and it would be great to understand the role of this project as part of this strategy, and how is this project supporting the Generation Green strategy? We cannot hear you.
Okay, thank you, Selma. I don't know if you hear me. Yeah?
Yes.
Good. I don't know if I can continue in English or I can speak French. As you.
C'est comme vous voulez. Vous pouvez passer au français.
It will be better for me. I will explain it better. So, donc, merci beaucoup pour l'initiative, pour l'invitation, pour l'ensemble des efforts déployés. Merci à la Banque mondiale, au CGIAR, à l'Impact Lab, au présent au panel d'aujourd'hui. On aimerait bien que voilà, tout tourne bien, ça marche bien et que ça aura de l'impact, surtout sur la scène de l'agro-digital national. Je suis Loubna Mansouri, donc comme j'étais présentée, donc professeure à l'Institut agronomique vétérinaire Hassan II et récemment nommée voilà, directrice du pôle d'agriculture digitale nationale. En réponse directe à votre question, Selma, c'est quoi le rôle du PAD? PAD, c'est l'acronyme du pôle, PAD, pôle d'agriculture digitale. C'est quoi le rôle? C'est quoi en fait? Comment il va supporter la GG? En fait, si on prend un peu la stratégie Génération Green en matière de digital et la capitaliser sur le PMV, et en même temps, ce qui est su faire, elle a tenu compte des limites qui ont été identifiées. Et que principalement l'écosystème de l'agro-digital national est fragmenté. On a besoin de le rendre plus cohésif. On a besoin de créer des liens entre les différents partenaires publics, privés, recherche, sciences, ingénierie. On a plus besoin de d'estomper la frontière entre l'ingénierie qu'on sait faire dans les établissements de formation supérieure en agriculture et le monde privé. Donc, l'AGG a prévu ses orientations stratégiques et ses objectifs stratégiques, mais en même temps, elle a prévu les organes et les instruments de gouvernance et de mise en œuvre de ses priorités stratégiques. Donc, si on prend le digital dans l'AGG, il l'a segmenté l'espace d'action de la transformation digitale en 3 segments. Il y a le segment qui est propre au ministère en matière de digitalisation interne et externe, digitalisation des services internes, qui a été un grand capital lors de PMV. C'est le ministère qui a amorcé la digitalisation à travers une modernisation et dématérialisation interne des services. Donc, il est appelé à continuer dans ce sens et aussi dans la dématérialisation des services externes au profit de l'agriculteur, de l'interprofession, voilà, des utilisateurs de ces services et de ces procédures, parce que n'oublions pas que tout ça se passe sous la casquette de 2 objectifs, c'est le développement humain et le développement des filières. Donc, il y a le premier segment qui est le ministère, le deuxième segment qui est l'agriculture 4.0. Et là, c'est la charge du pôle d'agriculture digitale. En réponse directe à ta question, Selma, le pôle d'agriculture digitale a été créé avec la mission de porter et coordonner, développer et déployer les solutions 4.0 en matière d'agriculture à travers des solutions scientifiquement robustes. On va revenir sur ça après, on va faire de la R&D et aussi commercialement viable. On ne veut plus faire de la R&D qui ne sera pas convertie en argent. On peut même se permettre de dire ce langage. On veut voir de la R&D qui va être sur le champ, qui va être au marché, qui va servir au développement humain. Troisième segment de la transformation digitale tel que prévu dans la SGG, c'est l'entrepreneuriat 4.0. Donc l'AGG a fait cette segmentation tridimensionnelle, le ministère, le pôle et l'entrepreneuriat 4.0, et il a bien réparti les tâches. Les tâches sont claires cette fois-ci pour le digital. C'est pourquoi que la SGG est ambitieuse en matière de transformation digitale parce qu'il est pré-structuré. Comme j'ai dit au début, il a tenu compte des limites du plan Maroc vert. Donc, ça, c'est le rôle du pôle. Maintenant, comment il va supporter la SGG là où le digital peut intervenir pour améliorer les facteurs de production des chaînes de valeur agricole, on va l'activer dans ce sens. Là où le digital peut travailler pour rendre le système d'agro-digital cohésif, on va travailler dans ce sens. Sachant que, bien évidemment, si on prend une chaîne de valeur agricole, de l'amont à l'aval, le digital peut être présent. À travers l'amont, c'est l'agriculture de précision, passant par tout ce qui est planification, intrants, production, stockage, jusqu'à l'accès au marché. Et dans tout ce processus-là, on trouve que le digital a donné beaucoup de preuves, beaucoup de réussites, de success story. Donc, on va travailler sur ça, bien évidemment, dans le cadre d'un écosystème géré par un seul objectif, c'est l'amélioration de l'humain. Et là où le digital peut créer une opportunité, soit pour l'humain, soit pour un maillon de la chaîne agricole, on va être présent. Voilà, merci.
Merci beaucoup. C'est très clair. And I will switch to English. So, Armin, Mrs. Mansoura was talking about, this link that is necessary to create between research from one hand and markets, really. And this is true that it's a key challenge today in the AgriTech ecosystem in Morocco, and I would say in the startup ecosystem and innovation ecosystem in Morocco in general. Can you tell us about models that you've seen at the international level that have successfully managed to create these linkages between research, entrepreneurship, market needs? If you have examples in the agri-food sector or other sectors, it'd be great to know how they work and what impact they've been able to create.
Thank you very much, Salma, and big thank you for invitation to this event. I'm excited to see the kickoff of this activity after so many months of the preparation. So we hope to get a high attention and interest from young people and entrepreneurs in AgTech applying for this opportunity. So looking forward to this. And then in terms of your question on the models, I think most of the international organizations, including the bank, are trying to use the model because ideally, let's say in the World Bank, when we design our investments, we rely on the data, and the data is coming from academia, research institutes. So it's very kind of fundamental first step where you develop evidence and the proof of the concept, which can later be used by international organizations for scaling up, engaging with the entrepreneurs, looking on the cost efficiency of the investments and creating enabling environment, let's say from the bank side, on different aspects. Now the countries are different in terms of the needs. In some countries, let's say for AgTech, you have an issue with connectivity, then you support the connectivity, or you have an issues with the skills, then you provide investment for capacity building. In some other cases, the AgTech companies do not have access to finance, so we're trying to provide some, innovation funds in the countries to provide financing to the AgTechs, and also working with the incubators. So it's really, I think, the model that the countries need to use, and also international organizations need to follow. It's working directly with the research organizations, collecting the evidence, and then trying to scale up the proof of the concepts and the pilot within the programs on a depending on the innovation. It can be, in a one region or a national scale. But I think the collaboration between all different agents is very important. And even in the World Bank, we have also an arm directly working with the private sector, IFC. It has several successful investments. One of them was, let's say, Twiga, where they provided additional capital to the startups, which addresses the segmented market for the AgTech agriculture products. So it increased the investments and provided the scaling up of the initiatives. So in a way, I think we need to scale up this collaboration further, and also work closely with academia, especially for the areas like climate smart agriculture. As you know, it's very important area for many countries, especially in MENA, considering their vulnerability to climate change. But we know the concept, but we don't know exactly which practices are the most optimal for the context. And I think there the CGIAR is coming as a very important partner to the World Bank by providing a lot of analytical base for our innovations and the financing in the region, which we hopefully will continue and also scale up for the AgTech innovations, because this is also an area where we need a lot of proof of a concept and then try to accelerate its adoption and the scaling up. Thank you.
Thank you, Armin. Hamza, as a founder of a startup, I think one of your key success factors has been to create that collaboration with the research on the one hand, with the corporate, to demonstrate your product, with the government institutions to be able to scale your reach. And this is something that SOIT has managed to do quite well, I think. So can you tell us really what the role of each stakeholder is for SOIT, and what challenges you faced in engaging each of these stakeholders for your growth?
Thank you, Salma, for the question and also for the invitation. Actually, what's very important here to underline is that these collaborations are international. It means that we are seizing opportunity at a global scale. Morocco is one of the hubs in which we develop our products and commercialize our solutions, but we build partnership internationally. And this is very important when you are developing innovation that compete at a global scale. Once we defined also the different partnerships we have, meaning the one you mentioned, research, government, agribusinesses, it's very important first to mention that SOIT is a company that is providing data not only to farmers, but also to large organizations that are partnering with farmers. I'm very happy to see Majid here, as we've been working with the Ministry of Agriculture, also some agribusinesses that are connected in the webinar that are customers. We provide data to farmers that lack data to optimize their farms, but also to ag organizations that lack data to manage farmers. And actually, in building our solutions that create a virtuous circle in between farmers and those empowering them on a daily basis, it's very important to create the right first research partnerships. Research not only to get right access to innovation, because innovation starts in labs, but also to get right access to talents. As at the end of the day, a startup, which is a company looking forward to achieving a sustainable and profitable business model, depends first on the quality of talents it succeeds securing around the vision. And I believe that research, whether it is through our partnership with the National Research Agronomy Institute in Morocco, through Fawzi Bekawi and the different teams that were very resourceful in helping us getting access not only to data but also to talents, or whether it is through international partnerships we have with the CIRAD in Montpellier, for example, we succeeded securing talents, whether these talents are internal to the research centers or whether they are at our level. And at a certain extent, we don't see a difference as long as we are aligned toward the same vision of achieving a certain impact for farmers. I believe also that government has a very important role. As I'm coming back this morning from Tel Aviv, and I see to what extent the Israeli ecosystem is developing around the common objective, which is definitely making a more efficient farming, and at the end of the day, also more profitable farming thanks to technology. I believe that government has this role to align all stakeholders around the vision, which is a macro vision that enables us all to fit within this vision and to achieve a common goal. And to this extent, I believe that it is very important for government to help role models and success stories to emerge. Because at the end of the day, what youth are looking forward to is proof of concept, of the possibility to realize a certain venture and to achieve a certain results. And there is no way you would build trust simply by theory and by providing them with methodology without seeing reality on the ground of startups making it happen. And I believe that the government, with what you said, Selma, the Agro-IT Days started, several years ago, around also the agricultural show of Morocco started this strategy. And I believe now it needs to be massified if we want to reach the very ambitious objective of getting 2 million farmers connected and then getting all the impact we are expecting from this connection. And I will simply end by maybe discussing the most strategic partners, which as farmers themselves and large agricultural companies, as they play a role of catalyst in making the technology scalable. And there is no innovation without scalability, as this enables them to achieve large impact from one hand, but also to reinforce the potential of the solution, its precision, and its ability to deliver the service the right way, adapted to the infrastructure of the farmer and to its very specific needs. And I do believe that around these roles of the different stakeholders, we have also certain limits, indeed, that we are trying today to overcome in a certain way. And for me, the most important one is talent. If today SOWIT has multiple offices in France, Morocco, Tunisia, Senegal, it's because of the inability of SOWIT to secure the right talent pool today in Morocco, and the necessity to still build the product and to find talent where they are, and to see finally the different possibilities and environments as connected, and not simply to try to do it in a certain environment and to see the world as one. And I believe that this is the same kind of challenge we face with research, because we need to make it clear, research has not enough financing today in the countries where we work to generate the results that are expected. And when you go and work over an experiment platform and you don't have even the ability to collect data the right way, we couldn't expect innovation to happen if we don't have a strong research on the ground, enabling to adapt solutions to genetics, practices, environments, and to collect data on a daily basis. Data as simple as weather data with the right quality is today a challenge in certain experiment platforms. And I think that as long as the research will be lagging behind, there will be no way for innovation to break the glass ceiling, except if this innovation sources its technology and know-how from a global scale and operationalize it on a local level. This is what we have been doing, and relying also on the research that is now, I would say, ready in the different ecosystem we work in, to try to work together to build the right partnership and right ground for further acceleration. But I do believe that research is still lagging behind in terms of financing and in terms of temporality when going to develop a product, to take it to the market, and to learn from the data it sources. That is, at the end of the day, what makes us all move forward. So I will end up saying that as long as we are aligned around the common objective that has been made clear by the Ministry of Agriculture from one hand, and by farmers themselves that do not find water today, as we are talking in Morocco in certain regions, to irrigate their crops, as long as we are aligned that we need not only to connect them, but to connect them around the right technology to achieve an impact in terms of sustainability and productivity, we need to get together in a much stronger way, not only in terms of financing innovation the right way, starting with the research actually, not with startups, because I believe that when startups have good innovation, they have no problem in securing funding, and also trying as much as possible to play in real playgrounds, which are farms, whether these are farms owned by smallholders or farms owned by agribusinesses that have a long-standing experience in managing resources and in making the most of every plot. Thank you, Salma.
Thank you, Hamza. I think that was a very powerful message about, a few powerful messages, but one clearly about the role of government in leading the work and creating that shared vision and that opportunity for everyone to come together and collaborate. And I will come back to Mr. Lahlou on this point. You mentioned, Hamza, that there were a few initiatives that had started happening, the Agro-IT Days, but there's also more recently AgriNova programs which have been launched. So, Mr. Lahlou, can you tell us more about these government initiatives that have been launched recently in that purpose of creating the new form of collaborations between the different stakeholders around this common vision, which is materialized by the Generation Green strategy?
Thank you, Selma. I will switch now to French, as announced. Donc, merci Hamza également. Merci Madame Mansouré pour les précisions du apporté sur le rôle du projet PAT, pour lequel le département de l'agriculture compte énormément à travers sa stratégie pour justement faire ce lien entre la recherche appliquée, les startups, les acteurs et l'écosystème de manière globale pour pouvoir déployer les ambitions combien, je dirais, très très haute de la stratégie. Hamza a souligné un point très important à mon sens, et celui de la présence chez le fermier. Et d'ailleurs, il me tend une perche pour pouvoir s'arrêter un petit peu sur les initiatives engagées par notre département en particulier, mais également les autres départements et les autres acteurs de l'écosystème, parce que dès qu'on commence à parler technologie, Hamza a mentionné qu'on est en train de parler à un niveau international. Aujourd'hui, les barrières, la technologie a permis de réduire les barrières et on peut déployer des technologies le jour J et le jour J+1, ils peuvent être déployés à n'importe quel pays, à n'importe quel coin du monde grâce à cette connectivité qui existe entre les différents acteurs. Donc, les initiatives qui ont été portées, je citerai, ou bien par certains départements, je citerai les cités de l'innovation qui ont été mises en place et qui assurent l'incubation d'un certain nombre de startups, que ce soit dans l'agritech ou autre chose. L'essentiel ici pour nous, c'est d'encourager l'entrepreneuriat et les cités de l'innovation, l'exemple d'Agadir, qui a été mis en place, permet quand même un certain nombre de startups, parmi lesquelles j'ai eu le plaisir de collaborer sur des projets concrets et pour lesquels on a eu des résultats très, très concluants dans un délai très, très court, notamment qui est utilisation d'objets connectés pour le pilotage des frigos, tout ce qui est et pour le pilotage de nos data centers. Nous avons engagé une start-up pour nous connecter nos data centers et le data center ont été assimilés à des frigos et on a utilisé les mêmes technologies pour piloter la température, l'environnement, etc. Donc, c'est une initiative, je dirais, nécessité d'innovation, regorge de ressources. Nous avons également des initiatives qui viennent, la dernière, ce week-end dernier, qui vient d'être, c'est le hackathon dont Rémi a parlé, à Berkane, organisé en partenariat avec la province de Berkane, en partenariat avec la direction régionale de l'agriculture et durant laquelle Monsieur le ministre a remis le prix de l'innovation à une start-up qui met une plateforme en relation l'agriculteur et les structures qui commercialisent les produits. Donc, ça permet de réduire les circuits, de réduire tout le monde sait l'importance que peut avoir la mise en relation et les startups de mise en relation pour, je dirais, améliorer le revenu des agriculteurs. Et l'encouragement de ces initiatives sont là. Je citerai également la réforme que connaît le gouvernement, que connaît les centres ou que connaissent les centres d'investissement régional et le rôle qu'ils doivent jouer pour justement sur le plan régional jouer ce catalyseur et ce facilitateur entre les différents services de l'administration pour encourager l'entrepreneuriat et pour encourager de manière générale et plus particulièrement l'entrepreneuriat dans le domaine agricole. Bien sûr, à travers également les différents mécanismes de financement lancés par Sa Majesté, tels que le programme Intelaqa, tels que la mobilisation des banques pour pouvoir accorder des financements. Et Hamza l'a bien expliqué, quand un projet est bancable, il n'a pas besoin de beaucoup d'efforts pour pouvoir mobiliser les fonds. Le plus important, c'est d'avoir un accès chez le fermier et avoir son adhésion et comment faire en sorte à ce que la data puisse être collectée dans les bonnes règles de l'art et également monétisée et exploitée à bon escient. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, ce qu'on oublie, c'est qu'on reste toujours focalisé sur la technologie, mais on oublie la data qui commence à devenir le vrai or et l'exploitation de la data. Le rôle de cette exploitation permet également la prise de décision, mais également le développement d'applications derrière, à travers l'open data, à travers des engagements dont le département ou les ministères, les gouvernements de manière générale s'est attelé. Je n'oublierai pas de mentionner par rapport à la stratégie Génération Green et l'axe, le deuxième axe que j'ai cité, le travail extraordinaire que fait l'Agence de développement agricole en accompagnement avec l'Office national du conseil agricole pour les CRGA, les centres, ce qu'on appelle les centres régionaux des jeunes entrepreneurs agricoles. J'ai mentionné dans ma présentation en anglais les ambitions de la génération Green en termes de création de jeunes d'environnement d'un nombre important d'entrepreneurs. Et l'accompagnement se fait effectivement à travers des actions concrètes, à travers la création des centres régionaux qui visent également à accueillir les jeunes, à organiser des sessions de communication et de sensibilisation, à assurer la coordination entre les différentes parties prenantes pour un partenariat win-win, mais également la mobilisation du million d'hectares des terres collectives à mettre à la disposition de ces jeunes porteurs de projets, l'accompagnement et l'aide à la création de ces projets jusqu'au lancement, en s'appuyant sur des équipes pluridisciplinaires, mais également sur de l'assistance privée pour pouvoir faire un petit peu sur du long terme plutôt que ce que fait Impact Lab dans ce projet de kick-off. Bon, je vais pas, ça a été mentionné par Hamza également, je vais pas ne pas citer l'Agro-IT Days et le rôle de détecter des startups. Nous avons tenu 3 éditions d'Agro-IT Days, une édition à Berkane régionale, mais également une édition à Meknès à l'occasion logiciel et dans laquelle Hamza avait également participé et montré ses innovations à travers Sowit et d'autres startups. Il n'y en a pas que lui, mais également à côté d'expériences très innovantes telles que le projet de la COSUMAR, tel que le projet également du paiement mobile par HPS et bien d'autres. Je n'ai pas le temps de tout citer, des expériences qui ont été présentées lors de l'Agro-IT Days 2015. Merci.
On va passer aux autres panélistes parce qu'on approche de la fin de ce panel, donc j'aimerais laisser l'occasion de couvrir le reste des questions. Pour transitionner, Silvio a parlé des startups, des belles success stories qu'on commence à observer au Maroc. Madame Mansouri, quelle est la place de ces startups dans le projet PAD et quel mécanisme vous mettez en place pour les soutenir? Je vais vous demander de répondre rapidement pour qu'on puisse faire le tour dans ces 5 dernières minutes.
Ok, je ne vais pas tarder. Alors, principalement, le PAD de construction, c'est un fédérateur, c'est un GIP, c'est un groupement d'intérêt public. On a déjà 11 organismes publics et privés dans le PAD. On a le ministère de l'Agriculture. Donc, l'idée de fédérer, de travailler en collaboration, c'est une idée de création du PAD. Maintenant, concrètement, qu'est-ce qu'on va faire pour estomper cette frontière et animer l'entrepreneuriat 4.0? Donc, il y a plusieurs, on va dire, axes sur lesquels on va travailler. Ben, principalement, si on part du schéma de fonctionnement du PAD, qui part d'une RD, qui va se transformer en innovation, qui va mûrir pour avoir un prototype et après passer au déploiement. Maintenant, le déploiement, il peut passer par la création de start-up ou donner ça à une start-up déjà existante en élargissant son champ d'action, ou encore, et ça je crois beaucoup, on a déjà commencé des essais avec tout ce qui est déjà développé pour l'industrie 4.0. Alors, j'imagine par exemple, et ça c'est un concret sur lequel on travaille maintenant, qu'une start-up qui sait déjà sur le biomédical extraire des cellules cancéreuses à travers une extension de l'intelligence artificielle, si on récupère cette extension, et elle va faire un excellent travail sur la parcellisation des parcelles agricoles, par exemple. Donc, il y a plusieurs façons d'intégrer l'entrepreneuriat, soit la création, la co-création, parce que, comme j'ai dit, on est fédérateur dès le départ et on est déjà 11 organismes, donc à travers la co-création de nouvelles startups, élargir les champs d'action de mission des startups existantes. Aussi, on a des brevets, et ça aussi c'est très important. Dans les institutions de recherche, on a des brevets qui sont prêts maintenant à être convertis directement en solutions entrepreneuriales sur le marché. Aussi, ce qui est bien, que dans notre programme d'action, on travaille sur une RDI qui est structurée. Ça nous donne déjà une vision dès le départ parce qu'on va travailler avec une approche où on greffe la technologie de l'intérieur. Donc, on va partir déjà, la start-up, c'est pas à la fin qu'il va déployer un résultat, mais il va partir avec nous dès le départ de la conception d'un projet. Donc, les startups sont présentes dans l'esprit du PAD, dans la chaîne de production du PAD, de l'amont à l'aval. Merci.
Merci. Armin, if I go back to you, we see that agri-tech startups are really attracting massive investment at the global level. We have, I think, more than $50 billion of funds raised in 2021. How do you explain this trend and this interest by funds?
Thank you, Salma. Yes, indeed, we see year by year increase in the investments in AgTech. In my opinion, we can explain it in three different pathways. The first one is the advances in precision agriculture, vertical farming, hydroponics that are making possible to increase the productivity reduce the fertilizers use, which is also well resonates with the climate goals of the countries, which aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and also from other side, it's improving competitiveness of the products by decreasing the residue from the fertilizers, which can be one of the constraining factors for the exports, especially to EU. So overall, the vertical farming is also allowing to produce the food in the areas that were not used to produce the food, like we can see in the GCC, there's increasing investments in a vertical farming, so it's really getting scaled up in a MENA region, which provides opportunity to increase the local production. I mean, the second one, we can thank maybe to our millennials who are changing their dietary pattern and preferences. So there are many AgTech innovations that are looking for alternative proteins and change dietary needs of the population. And you can see the new generation is changing their preferences, and they are looking for alternative proteins. So that's another factor that is driving a change, depending on the type of the AgTech innovation. The third one, I think it's the COVID-19 that accelerated the overall digitalization, not only in the agricultural sector, but also across in different areas. And especially, I think, in the agri-food sector, the countries and globally, people were looking how to shorten the value chains, how to make them more resilient, how to make information flow better, how to increase the traceability. And also, in many cases, e-trade and e-commerce was increasing because the COVID-19 and all the restrictions in how to reduce, interaction during the COVID for imports and exports. So there was a lot of kind of some positive spillover, and nonetheless of the challenges that globally people face that impacted positively the AgTech innovation space. So to sum up, I think one is the main reason is the advances in the vertical farming, precision agriculture, hydroponics, and other technologies that increase productivities, reduce the input needs, and are more environmentally sustainable. And the second one is the changes in the dietary needs and looking for alternative proteins. And the third one is the impact of the COVID-19 on overall digitalization globally.
Thank you, Armin. Hamza, you were talking earlier about the global, reality of the sector, of the innovation in the sector, of the opportunities for startups. So, do you, do you agree with what Armin was saying in terms of key trends, and do you feel that these are also the same trends that are impacting the AgriTech ecosystem here in Morocco? And as a complementary question, maybe what would be for you the key drivers for this ecosystem to develop and to be able to take advantage of those opportunities?
Yes, actually, I do agree with Armin. I think she developed a global trend. There are some that are relevant to Morocco, some that are not that relevant to Morocco, I believe. For example, when you see around vertical farming, at the end of the day is the cost of kilowatt-hour, and when it's 1.2 dirhams in Morocco, even if productivity is right, the business model is not yet there. Same goes from some other technologies that are highly constrained by regulation. For example, we use drones, spraying drones now in Morocco, and if you need to wait 7 months to get a regulation or 1 month to get an authorization to fly, this is definitely not viable when farmers need to treat a certain disease in a certain time. And hardware as simple as soil humidity sensors communicating in LoRaWAN network are very complex and highly regulated by the National Telecom Authority. So I believe that these trends are global, but when you get down to the reality, there are some that are, I would say, much more relevant and structural, mainly those dealing with the optimization of natural resources with very limited hardware and capitalizing on the know-how that already exists in Morocco and the infrastructure with more than 600,000 of drip irrigation system installed thanks to the Ministry of Agriculture. But I would say that to conclude on this, I believe, as Lubna said, that yes, the ecosystem is fragmented. It's talented and mission-driven, but highly fragmented and still very, very small. When you compare seed fundraising in 2021, that's the Bridger Bridge report, Morocco didn't get more than 7 million when Nigeria get 85. And when you see exits, startups that succeeded selling their innovation to the market or exiting the market, you have 2 exits last year in Kenya, one Series A of 40 million and nothing happening in Morocco. So I think we need to be clear. Even looking at the revenue, there are only 3 startups now in Morocco in agriculture that make more than $1 million revenue a year, recurring revenue. So it's a very small ecosystem, and also very high progress to expect in terms of regulation, also in order to be able to leverage the power of technologies. And again, regulation can be great because it helps players get professional, structured, disciplined. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a way for innovators to get innovation done. And I believe that helping them to get some fast tracks around building this innovation is critical, not for innovators to lag behind certain ecosystem as the Egyptian, Nigerian, or Kenyan ones.
Thank you, Hamza. And I know you have to leave soon, so I want to thank you for being here today and for your insights. I will follow up on your point on regulation. Silhlo, Madame Mansouri, est-ce que vous pourriez nous dire finalement sur ce point de la réglementation, qu'est-ce qui, selon vous, devrait être fait et mis en œuvre par le gouvernement marocain, ça peut être sur ces aspects réglementaires ou autres, pour finalement rendre possible toutes ces ambitions d'innovation collaborative, d'entrepreneuriat dont vous nous avez parlé et qui sont au cœur de la stratégie Génération P.
Merci Selma. Ce sont 2 sujets qui nous interpellent, à savoir tout ce qui est réglementation et c'est quelque chose qu'on n'a pas cessé de rappeler à tous les événements qu'on a tenus, que ce soit avec la BAD, que ce soit avec les Agro-IT Days, que ce soit même avec les instances qui sont au niveau de la Cour des comptes, qui sont en train d'auditer un peu les avancées ou bien les initiatives de digitalisation au niveau de plusieurs départements ministériels. La vérité est que sur ce point-là, nous avons des progrès depuis, bon, Hamza peut-être il exagère, aujourd'hui sur la partie drone, les autorités ont appris à connaître les acteurs. Nous avons des projets très ambitieux à travers des contrats-programmes et certaines provinces fournissent des autorisations de vol sur des périodes plus larges, moyennant, comme des contrats cadres, moyennant le respect d'un certain nombre de procédures, notamment le contrat qui vient d'être, je dirais, signé l'année dernière pour la filière rizicole dans l'Europe, mais également la COSUMAR. C'est vrai que sur le plan importation des drones, c'est peut-être très régulé pour des raisons que tout le monde sait, mais aujourd'hui, nous avons des startups également qui commencent à construire des drones ou bien de faire le montage localement et qui commencent un peu à percer. Sur le volet utilisation de l'ORA, nous avons eu des discussions, je dirais, informelles avec l'ANRT et l'ADD et ils sont prêts à faire le pas. D'ailleurs, ils ont déjà allégé, si on compare, je dirais, la réglementation d'il y a 5 ou 6 ans par rapport à la réglementation actuelle. Ils ont allégé les procédures pour autoriser un certain nombre d'équipements qui exploitent un certain nombre de fréquences. Pour des contraintes techniques, quand j'ai discuté avec eux, normalement, on arrive à trouver des contournements, si on doit dire, pour pouvoir exploiter les équipements d'une manière sans perturber les autres installations et qui exploitent malheureusement ces mêmes fréquences. C'est ça un peu l'enjeu, mais c'est des choses qui peuvent être gérées à travers la Constitution. Nous avons insisté sur les contrats programmes des interprofessions. Moi, je ne parle pas, parce que c'est vrai que le cadre réglementaire, il permet d'aider, mais également les acteurs doivent s'organiser pour se constituer, je dirais, en force de proposition et en force de frappe pour pouvoir implémenter ces solutions tout au long de la chaîne de valeur. Et le meilleur moyen, à côté bien sûr du travail que doit faire le PAD, c'est de rentrer dans les champs des gens à travers un agrégateur ou bien à travers un contrat programme particulier et certaines filières. J'ai vu que nous avons avec nous M. Chaufred parmi les assistants. Ils intègrent ce volet digital et ce volet technologique dans les ambitions et c'est quelque chose qui est salutaire parce que le ministère, il peut faciliter à travers les financements, à travers des actions, à travers le cap, montrer le cap à l'ensemble des acteurs, mais les acteurs eux-mêmes doivent être convaincus de la pertinence et de l'importance de cette technologie. Je laisse Madame Loubna ajouter quelque chose par rapport à ces aspects-là, parce que je sais que le volet réglementaire, il constitue un frein et c'est un challenge qui permettrait, si on met un peu d'insistance à travers l'Agence de développement du digital, à travers les nouvelles missions de ce nouveau gouvernement, je pense que les choses pourraient s'améliorer. Ils se sont améliorés, mais ce n'est pas assez pour pouvoir être au même niveau d'avancée de certains pays où, malheureusement pour eux, ou bien heureusement pour eux, la réglementation ne pose pas un sérieux problème. Merci.
Merci, Silhlo. Madame Nsori, vous vouliez rajouter quelques mots?
Juste peut-être deux petits points. Donc, déjà, le fait de penser à créer un organisme tel que le PAD, qui n'est pas de l'administration publique, c'est une reconnaissance et une conscience très profonde de ces problèmes et ces, on va dire, complications, si vous permettez, liées à l'administration, qui ne sont pas certainement propres au Maroc, c'est partout, c'est à l'international. Donc, on essaie de chercher des solutions. Et le PAD, c'est une innovation en lui-même pour échapper quelque part ou pour trouver une nouvelle manière, un nouveau schéma, un nouveau organe de gouvernance administrativement léger, avec une réglementation plus adaptative et agile qui convient à la transformation digitale, à l'esprit digital. Je reviens juste, il y a des choses qui se font, donc rien si on prend par exemple les dernières transformations dans le code de l'INRA, c'est une, on va dire, correction, c'est une nouvelle réglementation qui va permettre à cette institution de recherche de faire un pas vers l'avant en matière de recherche, en matière de transfert technologique. Il y a aussi d'autres initiatives. Je réitère aussi l'idée de Silhlo. C'est vrai que les drones, jusqu'à maintenant, la législation, elle est dure. Parlons législation, mais la pratique est toute autre. Je suis ingénieur topographe de base et j'exerce dans le domaine et les topographes utilisent énormément les drones. Et je sais, par exemple, pour avoir, si on veut faire une mission sur l'IAB Hassan 2, ça a duré 3 jours pour avoir l'autorisation de la wilaya. Par contre, s'il s'agit d'une nouvelle zone qu'il faut cartographier pour la première fois, certainement, on a besoin d'avoir plus de temps. C'est lié à la procédure elle-même où il y a plusieurs intervenants. Pourquoi pas ne pas digitaliser cette autorisation de vol, par exemple? Là aussi, ça va aider énormément. Alors aussi, en matière toujours de réglementation, il y a aussi le réseau l'oreille, tout ce qui est lié à l'ANRT, tout ce qui est lié à ça, mais il y a aussi la réglementation liée à la donnée. Ça, c'est très important. Et ça, c'est une réalité. Personnellement, on ne sait plus quelle est la limite entre travailler avec une donnée, la partager, la mettre à disposition. C'est pas tellement clair et c'est pas encourageant en même temps. Or, on sait tous que l'agriculture 4.0, elle est gourmande en data. D'ailleurs, on ne peut pas faire de l'agriculture 4.0 si tu n'as pas une bonne quantité de données avec une bonne qualité. Donc, s'il y a de la réglementation à faire, j'imagine au niveau de la donnée, structurer la donnée, standardiser, faire des normes, réglementer, régulariser les accès, le niveau d'accès, ça c'est très important, j'imagine, qui va booster et aller de l'avant à l'entrepreneuriat, à aller dans le développement de l'agriculture 4.0. Merci.
Merci beaucoup,
Il y a
Madame
d'autres choses,
Mansour.
mais c'est qu'on est limité dans le temps. Donc, voilà.
En fait, on pourrait passer 1 heure sur chacun de ces sujets, probablement.
Exactement.
Armin will conclude with you this panel. Maybe you can share with us, you know, what you would consider as the best practices that you've observed at the international level in order to build those successful innovation collaboration with high impact in the agri-food sector.
Thank you. I think it's a very new area and it's very dynamic at the same time, but it requires the participation of all actors. So ideally, you would like for good innovation ecosystem to have both digital and non-digital enablers in place, which, let's say, from non-digital, you want to have a good rural roads, electricity access, skills, etc. And then you want to have a digital enablers, which are right regulations in place, accessible internet connectivity, affordable internet connectivity for rural people. And on the top of this, as Hamza was indicating, it's really important to work with innovators and startups to create enabling environment for them. Let's say if the innovation is linked to the drones and the regulations are not allowing, or the bureaucracy takes 1 to 3 months, then it's also restricting the innovation in that space. And also another area where the public sector can help dramatically, based on the surveys available, it's demonstrated that many startups spend the initial 50% of their capital on a data collection about who are their beneficiaries are. Now, where are the farmers? Who are the farmers? A lot of our censuses are quite outdated, so it's very difficult to understand the overall landscape and your target audience. So I think providing the data to startups will be very important to reduce their cost. Initial capital is very important for the startups. Even successful startups, it takes them 4 to 5 years using some grants financing, etc., for scaling up. So unless you have a good access to finance for your innovators, there will be no progress. Supporting local accelerators, incubators, it's important to create this overall innovation ecosystem, because they're the ones who are building their capacity, guiding on their business models, like really sharing experience from generation and a boot camp to a boot camp. So it's really important to have this active ecosystem in the country. And then on the farmer side, I mean, we shouldn't forget that they're the ones who are ultimate beneficiaries of that innovations, but at the same time, they're one of the most conservative stakeholders. No, it's very challenging for them to change the behavior, to adopt the new technologies. And if we come with the new technologies which are not using the local language, or they are not explaining well, or there's no proof of concept locally to demonstrate that it's going to increase their revenues, it's very difficult to change their behavior. So we really need to work closely with the farmers, build their ownership, build their knowledge, demonstrate the evidence of proof of concept, and then only the behavioral change will happen. And it's not only related to the AgTech, but any kind of innovation in agriculture sector. It always takes a lot of time to bring that behavior change. And I think we should not underestimate that, especially when we're thinking about the scaling up. So working together, bringing support to the AgTechs with the data, access to finance, training, capacity building with incubators, accelerators, and then working with the farmers directly on the field by piloting activities, showing a proof of concept, I think will help overall to build the enabling environment for innovations in the countries.
Thank you, Armin, and special thanks for highlighting the role of incubators and accelerators, which is often overlooked. I will end by thanking all our panelists. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your time. And I will leave the floor to Gianpiero for the conclusion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Salma, and thank you to our panelists, Majid, Lubna, Armin, Asma, for your words and for sharing your thoughts. I could feel the energy and passion about the topic, and so I'm very happy about it. So by opening the conversation, how we can stimulate a collaborative innovation dynamic in the Moroccan agricultural sector, as our panelists just did. We are contributing to identify solutions to enhance the sustainability, productivity, and market access, and to solve some of the challenges that are faced by the actors in this space today. The time is right to seize the opportunity for action in Morocco. With a record-breaking investment into agri-tech startup globally and generation green strategy, we really want to kind of combine these two and make sure that we push towards, into a shift that could be towards agricultural innovations. This evidenced by the support from the World Bank and the Trust Fund Digital Development Partnership and our partners from the Moroccan Minister of Agriculture and Pôle d'Agriculture Digitale. As we enter into this first phase for application to the challenge, we encourage you to join us in this initiative by applying with your innovation and spreading the word about this opportunity through sharing with your network. Applicants can submit their projects through the dedicated portal by Sunday, 1st of May. The portal will offer applicants the opportunity to be part of the larger innovation ecosystem that we are trying to build and profile their solution to help gain exposure in the ecosystem. Don't forget that by submitting your application, you'll be also able to connect with other innovations and start building synergies with other actors already working in the ecosystem. So we really look forward to seeing you in the innovative solutions and building towards enhancing the efficiency, the equity, and environmental sustainability for agriculture in Morocco. On behalf of the Accelerate for Impact platform at CGIAR and the World Bank and the team at Impact Lab, I would like to thank our global audience here today, speakers and journalists that attended today's kickoff of the AgriTech4Innovation Challenge. I invite you to visit our webpage, www.agritechchallenge, and I really invite you to stay tuned. Thank you so much.